Can one person's intention affect another person's health from a distance? Do our thoughts and intention impact physical realm? Does our emotions can affect another person's health? Now you will say this sounds crazy, insane. This is totally ridiculous and most dramatic talk. But listen, today we are going to present you some of the interesting things about our emotions, intentions and thoughts with 100% scientifically proved experiments. And we are pretty sure that after watching this video, these things will definitely change your perspective in 360 degrees. So let's get started with today's interesting video. Thousands of clinical studies in the world had the same question in their mind. Can one person's intention, emotions affect another person's health from a distance without having any kind of physical contact or communications between them? 80% of researchers didn't get positive results, but the team of 4 researchers worked hard to prove this with having a burning desire in them. In order to simplify the complexities related to studying the human health and physiological responses, this team aimed to study whether intentions affect the properties of water or not. And the name of the experiment was given as Effects of the Distant Intention on the Water Crystal Formations, a triple blind replication. And this vast experiment was carried by Dr. Masaru Emoto along with his 3 researchers. The experiment tested the hypothesis that water exposed to distant intentions affect the aesthetic rating of ice crystals formed from that water. As the main part of this experiment was the water, so the 6 bottles of water samples were placed in a double steel-walled, electromagnetically shielded room in California. On May 20th, 2006, in Austria, one researcher in the team led a group of 1,000 people who prayed in gratitude with positive, intentional messages, emotions such as peace, love, wisdom, and compassion. These prayers, as well as the positive messages, directed towards the lab, which was 5,700 miles away. The researchers showed the audience where the lab was situated with the help of a series of images using the Google Earth application. Then he showed the digital images of the 2 bottles of water samples inside the shielded room with the words having labeled called as prayer for water. After explaining the images and purpose of the experiment, the researcher instructed the group to utter aloud the words of the prayer for about 5 minutes. Similar kind of process followed by the second group of 450 people from Germany on 23rd of May 2006. Contrary, on 24th of May 2006, the digital images of the next 2 bottles of water samples inside the shielded room having a label as negative emotions were showed to the last group of 500 people from Munich, Germany. So these 500 people performed this activity with the most fearful and discordant human intentions. But there is a twist in this, which is pretty much interesting. Out of the 6 water samples, the first 2 groups were aware of their own 2 water samples, which were labeled as prayer of water. The last one group, which was aware of their own 2 water samples, which was labeled as negative emotions. But the remaining 2 bottles out of the 6 were unknown to all of the groups, as these 2 samples were intentionally used as proximal control, and this hidden twist is called as or known as triple blind replication. After the series of experiments, the researcher placed these samples in a freezer with the random placements, and after freezing, those samples undergone through the magnetic resonance analysis technology and high-speed photographs. Eventually, the results came and researchers were awestruck by the pictures. Here are the results of this wonderful experiment you can see. Look at the frozen water crystals of positive emotions such as love, gratitude, eternal peace, thank you, and harmony. In the case of positive emotions bearing frozen water crystals, researchers found that crystals were uniform, well organized, and there was an aesthetic beauty in it. Now looking at the results of negative emotions and the sentences such as you disgust me, Adel, you fool, etc. In this case of negative emotions bearing this kind of water crystals, they were disconnected, disfigured, and unpleasant in their physical molecular formations. And for the proximal control water crystal samples, that is, those water samples which were unknown to the groups, showed no specific patterns, formations, or structures. Dr. Masaru Emoto put forth water as a living consciousness on the map for the scientific world. He showed us how water is energy capable of more than what we have ever imagined. Now, if you think deeply, human body contains 70 to 90% of water depending on the age, and we have seen this effect of intentions on the water just above. Now you can imagine how our thoughts and emotions are very crucial Researchers concluded the power of human thoughts, intentions, and emotions are really powerful, which means they should use them for some constructive purposes, like to help the people who are suffering. They should use to transform the society, to bring new peaceful revolution in our world, and not for any kind of destructive purposes. So that's it for today's video. Hope you will find this video very useful. If you find any irrelevant things, then you can comment your views in the comment box. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please do subscribe it and share with your friends. Thank you.